Oh, it's really been a long day though. Been a rough one. Give it a couple minutes to let everybody get into the room here and show up. I gotta get a stretch anyways. Oh, Ryan's gotta tape his fingers. I think I gotta figure out a way to get like a different microphone placement or like way of getting better audio for judo because this is gonna get in the way today and I'm a little worried. It's kind of hard to do Newaza when you can't cross face or like roll over, do anything like that. But we're gonna figure it out today, so I'm not overly concerned. Oh, it's a good stretch. This is workout number 3 today for me. Workout number 3. But I'm excited. We're gonna be going over Newaza today. Okay, some of the do's and don'ts. We're gonna be going over pinning, transitions, all that kind of stuff that we went over last Sunday in the first, take on Newaza for judo. So like always, if you guys have any questions, any comments, don't be afraid to throw them in there. I'm gonna try to get to everyone's question that I can. Some of them require a little bit more explanation than others. So, we only got an hour and we'll see what we can get through today. Okay? What's up, Sasaki? What's up? Yeah, I'm excited for some Newaza too. So if you guys got questions, throw them in there. I love it. And like always, if you guys are looking for ways to support the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel or consider becoming a member. I love to hear from everybody. I do this for you guys, not for me. So if you guys have video ideas or live ideas, make sure you send them our way. And before we go too far, I have to apologize to all the viewers who are looking forward to this Sunday. Ryan's got an engagement we didn't know about, so he's not going to be able to be here. So we have to cancel Sunday and move it to Wednesday. So we're still going to do the topic. Okay, we're going to be going over the Uchimatas, the Hanigoshis, the Haraigoshis, all the setups, all the feints, all the gripping, all the movements to make sure that you guys can, when we get back to the dojos, you guys can be a little bit better, more proficient at the throw. But it's going to have to wait till Wednesday. Okay? But with that being said, let's go over because this is kind of where we left off last time. Okay? Let's give it 2 minutes. It's only a 3-minute mark. Let's give it to 5 minutes before we actually get into anything crazy here. But I was going to start with defending drop seo and then looking into how I transition off of it and my go-to. Okay? And then we're going to take a look at a couple of other positions and a couple other things that we can do. But the main thing you want to pay attention to, because one of the comments that came up earlier this week was, how do you know what to do for your technique when you're transitioning? And the idea is where you land on the ground, okay? Where you land determines where you should attack, and your grips determine the technique that you use, okay? So you want to make sure, can you go down on all fours for me? Yeah, just go ahead and face the camera. You want to make sure that if you defend your drop seo, boom, what's your attack from this position, right? You do tile, can you just sit up? Nope, just sit up, sit down, but sit up. Yeah, let me see your sleeve. You do tile, boom, throw your arm over the top, boom, and he comes down like, what's your go-to Newaza technique from here? Like, you have this collar. The problem I have with a lot of people when I'm watching people compete, okay, cadets all the way through the higher ranks, is when they have this grip and he falls down and you're like this, they just let go and then they're like, well, I'm going to do this other move. When in reality, you should be using this because it's super hard. Ball up really tight, ball up super tight. It's really hard to get inside. Like, to get in here and like actively get grips in the time that, the ref is going to allow you to do it, man, that's a serious, serious challenge. So when you throw somebody and you're looking for that transition, you're looking at improving it, use whatever it is you have, okay? If I have the net, and let's see, let me have your sleeve, and I blast him Uchimata, he falls down, and we're here. It's like, this is what I'm going with. I may come in and I may hook the arm and I may go Sankaku. I may go Sankaku from here. I may step over and do the crazy arm bar, right? All those things are great options, okay? But it's use what you have and attack the position in which you land, okay? If you land and he falls in front, face me. Yeah, he falls in front, fall down, boom. It's like, what do? My go-to from this position, boom, I smash a front headlock. Okay, I wasn't a big Sankaku guy, not because I don't know how to do it, but because it made my legs tired, and I didn't like that. And it hurt my ankle sometimes because I have ankle problems. That sucked too, okay? So, but same thing. If he lands off to the side, it's like, what do you do from here? Because you're never going to get anything on the ground if you do all your moves from this side of the body. But then when you land on the other side, you got to come all the way over here. By the time you do that, he closes this off, he tucks it down, and then nothing's going to work, okay? And I don't think you have to have the same move from this side as you do from this side as you do from here. They can be 3 completely different moves. I actually prefer that because it makes you more versatile, right? Such a great point. It's like giving up on a standing grip. Yeah, Richard, that's my point. It's like you just gave up. Like, why didn't you just use that? And I see it all the time, right? Can you sit up for me? I see this. Yeah, let me come underneath. Go ahead and put your head down. I see this, and now resist. All right, and they're like driving that drop sail, right? They're like, and then they go, and then they let go, and they come up. But it's like, hey, man, you had this grip, this collar. I'll agree you need to let go of the sleeve to come up, but look at all this, like, power. Like, you could pick him up and drag him all over the place. You should use it. Use the things you have. Don't just ignore it. What should you do if you find yourself in half guard? I love it, Nick. Let's go ahead to them and scoot to me so that we're not close to the edge of the camera. There you go. So you're in half guard, right? And we're doing judo. Now, the hand position matters, okay? But you have 2 options. You really have 3, but we're going to do 2 because the third one's really advanced. First one. You come underneath the head, right? You put this hand on the ground, you drive forward. Turn this way. First thing, I see people mess this up all the time, okay? Your hand placement when you go under the arm, BJJ or judo, it matters, okay? Look, when I put my hand too far north, bring your arm inside. There you go. See how he can make that little adjustment? Stick your arm straight out. There's a spot right here, bend it at a 90, where that elbow is, where it doesn't come any closer, right? No matter how he bends his arm, the distance from his elbow and his shoulder doesn't shrink. So when you go underneath, you want to think about, how do I block this? Not above his arm, because then when he tucks that elbow, it slides inside, right? So where does that elbow bend, and where can I block? From there, I'm going to put my head on the floor to close that off. Now when I'm posted, right, now he can't recover that arm. The other thing you want to make sure you do, let's change sides so I don't crush the mic, okay, is with this arm, right, the right one. I should have done this side originally. Turn a little bit. There. You want to go underneath the head, grab underneath his armpit. Okay, for you BJJ guys, we go middle finger in the armpit. Judo guys, just grab anything, right? You don't have time to mess around. Just grab something. Grab something. Take your shoulder, dip it down to the chest, drive across his face so that he's looking in that direction. Hike your hips up, laces, big wide step, turn his hips. Okay, I want his hips and his knees facing this way, and I want to use my shoulder to crush his head so he's facing the other way. Once I do that, I take my foot, I kick, I take it off, and we come right into a good, solid side control position where we can finish the hold down. Does that make sense, Nick? I hope so. Let's scoot that way so you're more center. Now, that's option 1, okay? Let's go ahead and go into option 2. Lift your legs up for me. Other side. Option 2, okay? Let's say he's above your knee. He's above your knee and you just stuck, right? Please show that from another angle so that we can see your left foot. Okay, left foot. Let's go back to the other side. There we go. And head this way so that they can see this foot. Keep shrimping. There you go. Okay, so here's that foot that he has. I'm underneath his head. I drive up. I pick my hips up. Laces. Wide step. Turn his hips. Use this left foot to pull. Now it's close to this leg so that you can kick it off, and then you can come up and finish that pin. Now here's a little like pro tip for you. Scoot this way. Center. Always to the center. Feet to them. There we go. Now squeeze my leg really tight. Yep. Look, he's got my leg, right? One of the things you want to make sure you can do is you can walk your left foot, okay? So heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. There, and see he naturally slips off where you can see my knee now. So now I can actually pop up and I can cut my knee across. When he's clamped way above it, right? If your foot's too far out, you can't knee cut. So you want to heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, walk that, give it a little push. Now you can drag your knee across and get those hips to turn. Okay? Great, Nick. I'm glad that answered your question. The second version that we were going to do. So let's go back down. This way. Yeah. No, other way. I'm sorry. That was my fault. You have your legs stuck in half guard. And your partner isn't allowing you to go underneath the head for whatever reason. Okay? All we're going to do is jump and sit to our hips. And notice that I trapped his arm. Okay? The reason for that is I want to come down and grab this belt, 2 hands, okay? 2 hands right on the belt. He's got it super loose, so this is going to be kind of difficult, but that's okay. Now look, my knee here is on bottom, but what I need to do is I need to get it up so that it can block. Point this leg straight. This leg right here, I need to make sure I get this right knee to his hip. So when he locks it up nice and tight, I'm going to pull his hips. I'm going to shrimp my hips back there. And you can see my knee shrimps into that place so that I can use this foot to kick it free. And now I'm clamping his head. I'm pulling up on his belt. I kick his leg free. And your head has to do a good job because this hand's not going to be over there. He can be coming up and cross-facing you and coming here. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you catch this arm so that it's always on the other side of you. Okay? Don't let him push your head back. Okay? When he's in here and he's fighting, push me. You have to make sure you bury your head as you're trying to take this out. So don't let me take my leg out, Ryan. There you go. So when I'm in here and I'm fighting and I'm shrimping, there, see how I bury my head nice and low? That way he can't get that arm underneath. There, I can kick it free. And now I'm going to go back up into my north-south Kamishio, and I'm going to hold him nice and tight. Okay? So as like a quick little refresher here, I'm stuck in half guard, right? I can't get underneath his head. Boom, I just dive on him. Right here, 2 hands on this belt. I shrimp my hips back. Give me some resistance. Hold on to me. Yeah, don't let me. There. I shrimp my hips back. I start working. Get that foot involved. Bury that head. Okay? And then come up north-south. You'll be surprised how much control 2-on-1ing that belt and pulling it underneath the lower ribs. Man, it gives you a ton of control over the human body. Can you cover being on the bottom too? Of course I can. What's your problem, Nick? Throw me out what you're struggling with. Because for judo, right, the idea is not to go from bottom to top position in a way that we can win. A lot of times when we're on bottom, it's how do I not get caught, right? It's making sure, hey, I'm down here. I just don't want to get pinned. How do I lock this up to make sure I don't get caught? That's what my right foot is for, dinos. That's what the right foot is for. Chris, I'll hit on split the legs once we're done with the half guard for sure. And thank you again for the coffee. I've been pounding it all day. So let's go back into the center for me. 3 a.m. and still learning. Awesome. Thank you for coming by at 3 a.m. I love it. I love it. How do you deal with an opponent who has strong legs, right? They're strong legs, and then they're just clamped above your thigh. That has a lot to do with being able to walk that foot all the way over, okay? So no matter how hard he clamps above that leg, okay, you should always be able to turn your body, walk this foot up, go to the knee, or go to the foot. Take this foot off. Keep this one up. Go to the end of his foot and bend his toes, okay? So that when he locks that up, right from here, I go right to his toes and I press that foot to the floor. There, and I slide it down to his own ankle because that's going to loosen up on my leg. And then my elbow can go to work. So when he's clamped up here like this, I grab that foot, I extend it down. Hold it. Flex. Yeah, good, strong flex. There you go. Boom. And then my elbow goes to work. And now I can use my hand as that base so that when he's in here and he's fighting, right? He's in here and he's fighting and I'm pressing with my head, right? I can use my hand, use my knee, come to the belt, come to the knee, hold everything in nice and tight. And now I can take that leg out. And a lot of people don't realize, but when I'm here, even if he tries to go belly down, go belly down. I have this arm, right? Go ahead, go belly down. He's done. Look, I just push him over. Boom. Super simple. Remember, we talked about that on Sunday. Just making sure I have the correct framework and the right pieces of his body so that I have leverage, not just power. No, Nick, never try to get to full guard. Never try to get to full guard. Ryan, no, I would never do a north-south choke from Kamishio. I would just catch my breath and I would lay on my partner until I got ippon. But okay, here, let's go, Ryan. Let's go in half guard here. Let's say he's in here and he's controlling my upper half, right? Okay, we have to look at what does he need to do in order to beat me here, okay? So the first thing is he needs good head pressure. So go ahead and create some head pressure. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. So what I like to do is I like to take my thumb and put it inside the gi while taking a grip either on the belt or right here on the inside part of his pants, okay? That way my elbow can get into that good frame and I can win that battle. So when he's keeping that knee in nice and tight, okay, so that I can't hook it with my arm, I go next best option and I prevent it. And what I do with this hand is I just give a little lift just so that this shoulder's not so much into my throat and it's digging, right? So when he's in here and he's creating that pressure and I'm here, go ahead and try to get your leg out. There. I can go double lock. Double lock's first option, number one. Okay, look at that. Let's turn a little bit so they can see. There we go. Okay. When he goes to posture up, boom. I slide it through. I take it down. And then my hand goes underneath. Kind of like a 10th planet style of jiu-jitsu here. And then I can hold him. Once I do that, I just let go with this arm and I just hang out. Because he's going to spend so much time freeing this. Go ahead, take it off. Go ahead. Figure it out. Right? The idea isn't that I'm holding on to it. It's that I'm keeping my arm between his legs here. So go ahead, take it out. See, a lot of people, go ahead, sit up. A lot of people, right? You guys always try to flex. It's more about being in the right position rather than like trying to physically hold them so they can't go anywhere. So when you take that hand and you go underneath, especially for judo, it is super hard to deal with. He can't keep his hand, right? Come back. He can't keep that hand across my face and get my hand out of here. Because if he tries to go laces to my thigh, pop up, and then go laces to my thigh. No, laces. What? Here. Uh-oh. Yeah, there you go. Right? If he's going to try to take that foot out here, but now my hand is involved.
So even when he pikes his hips up, right, my hand is here. So when he brings that foot in, right there, like I don't let it. I don't let it. My hand is just here. It's a natural shield for me to play defense. And if he ends up cutting this knee across with my hand on the inside, that's okay too. I can reverse my triangle, I can put pressure on his knee, and I can relock it. But the whole time, I'm never trying to leave this position where my hand is stuck, okay, between my thigh and the back of his leg. I never leave it. I never come up here. I never lock the body. Right, sit up. I don't pummel this hand and then clamp onto his body like this. I always just keep my hand here, and it keeps me safe for all intents and purposes. I've never been pinned if I can get my hand here by anybody, okay? So that's like step number one. Hopefully that makes sense. Yes, Matt, I do. So yeah, I did talk about that when I broke down my own video. So what I used to do from there, right? Shout out to Uke. That's right. This wouldn't be possible without this guy. But okay, so what I used to do, right? Let's go back to that position. What I used to do is I used to let guys get here, okay? Because I have a BJJ black belt, so I actually know how to work from deep half and half guard. And I used to come here, go ahead and hold me, and now try to take your leg out. There. There. And now he got really high. So now I can take my inside leg here, right? And now I can cut it across. No, don't fall over. Come on. There, right. There. And now I have a hook so that I can elevate, drive him over, and then start pinning him, okay? But normally, right, and now don't get pinned. Just, this always works, Ryan, so you can just go. I have that kind of confidence, guys. Go ahead and go. There. Go ahead. There. I can pop my head out, right? There. And see, I have his hips now, so even though he's trying to roll to his belly, keep going. It don't matter. He can't take that out. You look at it. Boom. All you got to do is kind of walk across the mat and you pin everybody with it. But yeah, I used to do that all the time. All the time. Hopefully he's learning something, Rico. I hope so. I hope so. Hopefully he's not just playing with his tape the whole time. Where's who on the rankings? What rankings? Does that make sense to everybody, though? I hope so. Newaza can be hard to teach, especially on camera. It's easier to do in person because there's so many things going on underneath. So let's take a step back and let's go into Chris's question from before about the over-under. Yeah, the Mendez brothers do it all the time. You're down. Split the legs. Head that way. Okay, problem number one that everybody does for whatever reason, okay? Is it the same principle to keep people on their back when you do the over-under? I don't care that he's on his back, okay? I really don't. What you care about when you're trying to do this over-under pass on split the legs is the hip, okay? You want to make sure that his hip is parallel to the floor, okay? Or as close as you can to it. So if I put my foot, I'm going to do this lightly, but if I put my foot right here on Ryan's kind of like hip bone, when he does a sit-up, go ahead. No, sit up and stay up. This position for him is 100% irrelevant if I over-under him. It's not helping him. It's not hurting him, but it's not helping. Okay, so I don't care that this happens. What I care about, go back, shrimp your hips up. There, I care that that happens because now you have to chase. And when you chase, you could lose a step and then they can recover. Okay, so step number one for focus is the hips. So the first problem I see with a lot of people is they get too high. Okay, and what that looks like, can we go a little bit at an angle? There we go. What that looks like is when they dive in here, watch your hands. When they dive in here, look at Ryan's belt. When I do this, I'm low. When most people, let's change sides, because I don't want to hit that mic. Keep your leg down though. When I do this, I'm low. Watch your hand. Look at my shoulder is down here by his belt, and my head is on his thigh. It's not in his hip. It's on his thigh, so that when he lifts his leg, lift it up. Not that one. You see your chest. There. I can control it with my head. Bring it back down. So when I'm here and he's lifting it, there, I have good control with my head. And my hand is keeping me to him vertically. Okay? So I'm taking this belt and I'm pulling it. So shrimp away. Shrimp away. See, I'm keeping him to me. My head is controlling this leg so that he can't pull it out and throw it over to the other side. Because what happens to a lot of people is they're down here, they get their head pushed. No, where you going? Slow down, push my head, and then throw your leg over. There, that happens. And it's a terrible move. So what I'm doing is, I'm grabbing here, I'm using my chin, I'm using all the tools that I have to control this. So I'm controlling his thigh, my shoulder's controlling this hip, my hand is buried so it doesn't get caught. Go ahead and bring your legs up. There. And I'm controlling him so that when he starts moving around, there. And now my knees are off the floor. He can sit up. Perfect. No problem. It doesn't stop me from taking my leg out, coming up, and then bringing him down to the ground. Right? You could see that in my quarterfinal at the Olympics, right? The guy tried to sit up, and I was like, I don't care. Thank you, because now your hands are keeping you up. There's nothing to stop you from, or stop me from walking around your legs. Because the second you take your hand up, you're going to fall down, and then you're just going to get pinned. Right? So you've basically taken your hands, pinned them to the floor, and said, I don't want to use these anymore to defend myself. So you want to try to always avoid that. There are better ways to defend the over-under than, propping yourself up in a position where you can't use your hands. And I see people like stuff the head. I see people pull the head over from an upward position, but could you please comment on keeping them from rolling away and rolling out? Of course. That was my bread and butter. Let's go ahead this way. And again, that's one of those problems that a lot of people don't fully understand. Okay? Just kind of lay your legs out. Okay. From this position, right? Ryan's job is to roll away from me. Go ahead. There you go. Thank you for the super chat. I'm glad you like that little detail. Super important. I always use my head, especially on the ground. It's like a fifth limb for me. But when we're in this position, right, guys, his job, bridge up and over your left shoulder. There, and then roll to your belly, like just kind of like, yeah, there you go. Let's bring it back. Right? When he's doing this, just do it like 1 or 2, 3 times as I'm talking through this. Look at this leg, the one that's closest to me. Notice it has to come up, bridge, and then it has to go across. So the question has to be, if that's what he needs to get to his stomach, how do I stop that? And the answer is, go ahead and bring your legs up. Nope, put them on the ground. Go ahead and bridge. And now go. Go ahead. Go ahead. Come on, take your legs back. See, he has to pull it all the way out, right? And just with a little hand placement, it's super difficult for him to go. The problem a lot of people run into is they try to stop him from doing it initially, instead of backtracking and saying, hey, if he tries to go that way, he's only ever going to get 80%. And I don't care. I only care that he goes the other 100. So when you're in this position and you're in this over-under and you take your leg out and you got his belt and then you're sitting, I sit back. My knee is tucked underneath his thigh so that my elbow comes inside my knee here and I hold him tight so that when he rolls away, go ahead and go. Go ahead. It doesn't matter. Keep going, keep going. Yeah, it don't matter. It doesn't matter that he's this far, right? Because it's like an ankle lace in wrestling, right? No matter how hard he goes, it doesn't matter. I have his hips. I just roll him back using the leverage here with my arm. And it's actually not that hard to hold on to, right? So when you're splitting the legs and you're diving in there, control from the belly button down. Don't worry about the upper half. It's not going anywhere. It's not like he can detach his upper half and then walk away, right? They don't have the spine. They can't just lay their butt on the floor and then put their chest on the floor, right? The legs, when they're laced like that with your arm, come back. When they're laced like this, go ahead and roll that way, other way. Go ahead. Go ahead, roll. It's super difficult, right? Just because you have that cross. So that's all you're really looking to do when you're splitting the legs. You set it, you dive in here, you get your grip. Even if he's pushing on your head, go ahead and push on my head. Right? Even though, no, my head, not my shoulder, my head. There, I don't want to hit the mic. And he's pushing. When you take this off, this is osaikomi. This is it. Like, I don't need to be up here in this, like, weird, perfect position. And we talked about that last Sunday, right? Scoot to the center. We talked about that last Sunday where it's overpinning. You feel like you have to do more. And then what happens is when you lose what you have to try to do better, that's when people get out because you make the adjustment. And so let's put the feet the other way. Yeah, there you go. Let me on this side. When I was in that quarter at the games, right, and the Bulgarian guy rolled away, I reached up and I grabbed and I pulled him back. And then what he did was he looked at me and then go ahead and lay on your back. And I took a grip right here. And then I held, and he was pushing on my head. He's pushing on my head. He's moving. I'm holding him here because that's what's keeping him away. And notice every time Ryan shrimps, I get closer and closer to side control, right? I got to take off the thing. Sorry if the audio is terrible. There's not much we can do with the Newaza. It's going to have to be what it is. Sorry, guys. Are there any deep half entries or anything due from failed sumi gaishi? Normally, you come on top when you fail sumi. You don't stay on bottom. Gabriel, I need a little bit more information. BJJ guys like to walk back towards the hips to finish the over-under. But judo guys typically walk the other way towards the head. What's the logic? I don't understand. I understand walking towards the head because I'm walking to my left. What I don't understand is walking towards the hips because I'm below the hips. See me in Valley Judo. I'm too fat to wear like skimpy little shorts and run around the beach acting like I'm angry all the time. But Gabriel, can you throw a little bit more information in the chat for me? I'd love to answer the question. It seems like it'd be valuable for everybody. But let's talk about the sumi really quick. So can you stand up, Ryan? Let's go kind of left on right sumi. You can stay on this side. And then, nope, I'm going to pull it by. Bend over. There you go. There you go. Okay, keep that hand inside. Grab my gi. There you go. Okay, and then when I do sumi, just kind of scoot out to the side. So when you do sumi, right, boom, and it doesn't work, you're normally here, right? But for me, the move has just started. My job is to make sure that this hook is out. So if I'm still in a position of lifting, I'm still in a position of throwing, right? So when you do sumi, go ahead and grab. Then I pull it in, I break it down. We're here, frame across my body so I can't get in. There you go. When I'm here, let's scoot this way. When I'm here and I slide into this sumi and he jumps in front, boom, there. Come back to your stomach. I kick him all the way off. Now let's do that without getting thrown. I got a good sumi, so it's hard. But you want to make sure that he's free of you completely. So when you're here, right, and you dive in, boom, free, there. And that way now I can get up and I can get on top because I'm pushing his head down. You never do sumi with the idea of staying on bottom, ever. Even if he has to go all the way over the top of you, and fall on his face and you come out the back door. Yeah, Sasaki, what do you want to know about Sankaku? Because Sankaku we could talk about for like an hour and a half. I've got like 7 or 8 different versions. Nick, you should pin them for 20 seconds until they call Ippon. I don't know what that means, the Faria style. I'm confused when you walk back to the hips. My brain does not work that way, because if he's down, go ahead and lay down, like over under. And I'm down here in my over under. How do I walk back to the hips? Do you mean like walk up to the hips? Do you mean walk away from the hips? Like that's where my confusion lies. Oh, Dinos, I know what you mean. Okay. Okay, he means walk to the other leg. Push your head that way. So when I'm in over under, my job is to get this leg in a straight line with his entire body. I don't want his leg way out here, okay? Because when his leg is way out here, it means when he turns his hip, shrimp, there, that's easy for him to get out. Andrew, thank you for the super chat. I'm glad you think it's great content. Trying to help everybody. Thank you. Go back to the beginning. When we're in this position, so what my goal is to not necessarily get this leg flat, but it's to get it in this line. Okay, so when his legs are up, right, up, there you go. Okay, and I dive into this position, I roll him and I catch him so that when I'm here, nope, resistance, there. And I walk back and I pinch my knees to get that leg straight, and my heel does a little pop, circle, around, and then I pass his guard. I think that's what you mean. I think the hips was just confusing me. But that's typically how I do it. Yeah, you can knee bar from that position. It's judo, so like, why would you bother taking the time? Great, I'm glad that answered your question. Yeah, I only walk up to the hips to catch it, and then when I pass, I bring the leg back and then scoop it so I can get into the over-under position where he tries to bail out to his stomach, because that's the typical judo reaction. Great, perfect. Nick, what do you mean by, is it with the head and arm choke position? I'm glad you think people who haven't been exposed to judo are going to get excited about seeing this. That makes me happy. I would love to get more people involved into judo. I think it's one of the best martial arts, well beyond BJJ, Muay Thai, anything like that. The mount pin. You can pin somebody from mount in any way, right? A lot of the times I hug the head with one arm and I just base out. Sometimes I go double unders. Sometimes I don't even hold the head and I just base out, depending on what type of escape they're trying to do. You just need to make sure you keep them for 20 seconds. Mount's very finicky for judo because you don't know what you're going to get. Most guys, when they get pinned with tate shio, the mount position, they just tap. Like they give it like a 1-2 gusto, and then they just lay there. Because they're like, I don't know what I'm doing right now because I've never been in this position in my club. And it's just too easy to tap at practice and then restart. Because they don't care about the learning part, they care more about the fight. So when they get caught, they just kind of quit. Which you should never do, by the way. Why do I think judo is beyond BJJ and Muay Thai? It's a more well-rounded martial art. It's a more physical martial art. It's a better conditioned martial art. right? The problem lies is when you talk to BJJ people, is they look at American Judo and they're like, but we smoke all these guys. And I'm like, but those aren't real Judo players. Like, go to Europe, and then all those Judo players, they smoke the BJJ guys because they're actual athletes, right? What's my go-to hold down? Right here. Head to them. Feet to the wall. Yeah. Learn this one right here. Hand underneath, controlling, cupping the shoulder, playing a back and forth, making sure you're learning how to keep your body in nice and close, okay, and control this arm. So when Ryan tries to get out, go ahead, give it like a good old, yeah, yeah, right, and you're going to learn how to drive that foot forward. You're going to learn how to base. You're going to learn how to catch yourself. You're going to learn how to use your body. So when Ryan tries to get out, right, you can learn how to clamp and hold and use your weight to make sure that you can keep him down to the ground. He'll eventually get out, and the idea is not to keep him forever. The idea is to add to that clock so they're not getting out in 2 seconds. They're getting out in 3 seconds, then 5 seconds, then 10 seconds. And then when you start actually holding on to the gi and really preventing them, it'll be super easy. CR, I'm glad you love the videos. Kazure, Keisagatami, modified, but yes, that would be the one. Because that's going to teach you just all the fundamental basics on how to maintain top position no matter what your partner does. When they're shrimping, you have to move. When they're moving forward, you have to move. You saw when Ryan bridged really hard, my hips came off the floor, I maintained position, he recovered. Like, it gives you that back and forth. Jimmy Bradshaw, 100%. Only do submissions when the opportunity presents itself. Pin first, armbar and choke second. Pin first, armbar and choke second. Yeah, I don't see, that's the, so guys, let's have this conversation, because Chris just said Rod D showed some static pressure in Keisagatami. Guys, your job right now as a judo player is to win. It's not to say I applied more pressure than you. Who cares? Really, who cares, right? Let's go back, Ryan. Let's go ahead that way. Here you go, look. Watch this, guys. Watch this, watch this. Get out, Ryan. Boom. Does it really matter that I created any pressure? No. There's more important things when it comes to pinning somebody than how heavy you could be on somebody. Everybody, but it's like a trigger word for a lot of people, right? It's like, hey man, you were so heavy. Yeah, I have good pressure. But you know what really sucks? Every time you see an opening and you run for it, you get blocked. And you just feel trapped, like you have nowhere to go. That's a worse feeling. That's a better martial artist than somebody who just, oh, I put so much pressure on you, you couldn't go anywhere. Right? Like, what are we doing? I don't care if you do BJJ or judo or wrestling, it doesn't matter. Right? The idea is to make the other person feel like he can't win no matter what. You don't want to be in a situation where it's just like there's so much weight, so much pressure, when at the end of the day, it's like, what are we doing? So learn the actual core concepts of like how to position your body and their body, right? I hope he takes it seriously. I asked him to. I'm good at what I do. I don't care how hard he tries. He ain't getting out, not unless I want him to. I know where to put my hands so that I'm being a good judoka. Minimum effort, maximum efficiency. I know what to do with my hands and my body so that he can only ever get 80% of the way out. I never give him the last 10, the last 20%. Ever. And that's what's important. It's not about shutting you down so much that you can do nothing, right? Even when I pin these guys, when we're doing Tachiwaza Randori, when we're transitioning, no, I'll pin you. I earn the right to hold you there until you get out. And I'm going to keep you there. I'll headbutt you. I'll dig my chin into your ribs. I'll tickle you. I'll pressure point you just to get you to react so that you fight back to your stomach because I earned the right to hold you. Your job as a judoka is to get out. The fight's not over just because we landed in a pin or because I turned you, right? You've got to learn. You've got to educate yourself. You got to be able to move. It's not about keeping people. It's about containing people. Richard, thank you for the super chat. High five, Ryan. The crowd is on your side today, which is crazy because nobody asked me to choke you. Hopefully I didn't jinx it. No. Truth Clips, thank you for the super chat. Please keep up the awesome content. I'm glad you guys love the content. It's not easy doing this all the time. It's not easy. So I'm glad you guys like it. The Kanto triangle, there it is. Thank you, Chris. Chris, before we do the Kanto choke, okay, IFAN 8430. I don't know if I read that right. But let's talk about this, right? How do you defend a collar choke from turtle? And what if I told you it's not with your hands? Boom, mind blown, okay? Let's talk about this, okay? When you're in turtle, the best position you can be is on the hairline, right here, okay? Hairline on the mat. Now look, Ryan, go in turtle. What most people do, and what you've seen Ryan do here, because I don't teach this to just anybody, okay? When I was an athlete, I made sure to never show this at camps or clinics. You guys are lucky. I didn't want people doing it to me because it's a real pain in the ass to deal with. Look at, you see how Ryan put his forehead on the floor? Now look at Ryan's back. I can actually pinch my legs and then I can put my chest on his back with nothing on the floor and nothing happens. Okay? Terrible, terrible position because basically what it's saying is I can sit here and I can just punch him in the head. I can dig my hands in. I have all these opportunities to work. Now, with two simple minor adjustments that anybody can do who's been doing judo for a sufficient amount of time, meaning if you're a white belt, okay, if you're a yellow belt, if you're a green belt and you've only got a few months experience, don't do this, okay? I have to say that with a caution. You do need some neck muscle, okay? You got to start doing your chin-ups on the ground, your side-to-sides, right? Your rotations, you got to strengthen those neck muscles, okay, when you do this. But what you're going to do is, Ryan, tuck your chin to your chest, and then now toes live in the back. There. That, now you can see Ryan's whole back patch where there's a down slope, okay? And now put your hands inside, Ryan. Nope, hands inside. That's your elbows, hands. There. So the hand position, sit up, Ryan. Sit up, look at the screen. The hand position is not here. The hand position is here. Are you confused, Ryan? There you go. It's here. This is the hand position. Okay? Or it's here. But you're able to work that wax on, wax off kind of motion to play defense. Okay? And the reason for that is sit up nice and tall. Sit up nice and tall. Is you want to be able to swim. You want to be able to swim like a doggy paddle to get out of getting choked. Okay? Now look. Judo Global. Hi, Travis. Questions for the content. Who is your favorite international joker considering Newaza skills? Keep up the good job. This guy is his favorite. This guy. Anyways, let's go back to, sit up nice and tall and then go into this position. Okay. So look, if I throw my hand in right here, Chris, of course I showed this in the Newaza Mastery. Why do you think I called it the Newaza Mastery? And guess what? It was after I retired. I said at camps and clinics. I didn't say on an instructional. But if you guys want to see this in depth and be able to refer to it right away, head to judosilencer.com, sign up for my email list, 25% off Newaza Mastery. It's got 9 hours of Newaza content, or like 7 hours, something crazy. Okay, but look, when Ryan's in this position, when I come in for this choke, nope, don't clamp, nope, keep your hands up. I'll walk you through this. This hand can come up and grab my hand. Perfect. And now what Ryan can do is he can swim, boom, and he can trap. Okay, so when I'm in this position, let's go back. Let's go back. Boom. When I come through here, he grabs my hand when I look for that choke. Now what he does is he swims over the top, and now he can trap it. So when I take my other hand and I choke, he now has both hands. No choke. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. All right, he's in that position. I cheat the side. Nope, the other hand. Nope, I'm looking at the thing. I'm sorry. I cheat the side. I'm backwards. The screen's backwards. He grabs it. He swims it. And then my other hand comes in, and now I'm stuck. And vice versa, right? Go back to normal. With the hand that's up, if I go this side first, he can grab it. He can still swim it and tuck it. And then when I go on this side, boom, his hand is right there. Okay? So that's step one, proper hand position for defending a choke. Okay, so proper hand position, defend your choke. Because this hand, right, on the body, you want to make sure you're avoiding the body lock, right? You don't want this guy to just send this hand in here. You want to be able to play defense. So when I reach through to try to feed this gi, grab my hand, and now sit up. I can't feed it through because he's holding it, right? Okay? So you're able to play a ton of defenses just right there with this. Okay, step one. Step two, head position, right? He's going to roll up on his head, and he's going to go toes live, and he's going to keep one hand across his belt, the other one in. Now look. Now look. When I'm in this position, and I try to sit on his back because of the downward slope, when I'm here, you just slide off, right? So anytime somebody tries to jump on you from this position and tries to choke you, right? Just bump me with your hips. Boom. You just throw them off like clockwork. It's super hard to stay up there. That's it. We're good. As crazy as it sounds, it is super easy for anybody to do. And it's one of the things you'll see me do. If you ever watch any of my competitions, you'll see me all the time like this with a guy on my back. And it's because I'm rounding my back and I'm looking. I'm able to keep my eyes open and look at where he's putting his hands and where he's putting his feet so that I can see what's going on. It's super beneficial. Chris, I'm glad you love the instructional. That makes me happy. I wasn't sure if people would like it, if it'd be well received or not, since most judo people hate Newaza. I think it's from a lack of understanding. And now they really don't like it because they feel like it's just BJJ and they're trying to make sure it stays separate. And even though you're good on the ground for judo, you'll suck at BJJ. And even if you're good on the ground in BJJ, you'll suck at judo. So you still got to focus on it. Mr. Miyagi techniques still work. 100% they do. Wax on, wax off. I do it to so many people. So many people. It's crazy how many people I do that to. But we got enough time for like one more question, and then I got to wrap it up. And don't forget, this Sunday we got to cancel because Ryan's busy. He's busy. He told me yesterday or today. So that sucks. Gabriel, love the Newaza Mastery 2. I love it. In your opinion, what is the best way to utilize this instructional? Is it the goal to understand? No, Gabriel, okay. So what I did for that instructional, guys, for anybody that wants to go buy it, I have these buckets, okay, where it's like, okay, from this start position, like if you want to be a Sankaku player, right, going Sankaku, so all fours, right, you could do it this way. You could do reverse. I show you how to open them up. I show you how to roll over the top. I show you like 6 or 7 different versions and defenses so that you can attack Sankaku from all the different little angles, right? And you can attack part 2, part 3, then you can jump to part 6. When your partner plays this defense, you can do part 1 again, right? And then once you figured that out, the great thing about the Newaza Mastery is you can find, right? You can find where that move ended one of the other moves starts or ends. That way they are all bookmarking each other, right? So like a great example for that is go belly down. I taught a whole series on wrist. You get the wrist, I gave you guys like 9 different moves you could do. But then the great thing about it is I showed you, go to your back. When you're doing split the legs, I showed you like, hey, it's never over. The fight's never over on the ground. When you're splitting the legs, if you pass and he starts rolling out and he starts crawl out, and he starts crawling out, I taught you how to get that wrist and then finish the technique, right? Like I can knock him down, boom, there's his wrist, I have it, and we start that whole wrist control series, right? So you have like 7 moves from split the legs, 7 moves from wrist series, and now you know how to put them all together, right? That's what that thing is really for. Judo Strangles by Andy Hung is also great. I remember sitting there while he filmed it. Awesome. Ryan, I'm glad you watched it. I'm glad you watched it. Yeah, and shoot me a message, iFan. If it works, if it doesn't work, if you're having trouble, if you're running into roadblocks, shoot me in one of the comments on any of the YouTube videos. I'll see it. I try to respond to everybody, and then I'll shoot you some feedback. Or you could film yourself doing it, right? And then you can send me a video to videos@Judo Silencer, and I'll do one of my judo analysis on it and give you some pointers that way. Gonna go make some coffee. I love it. So with that, Chris going to make some coffee. Let's call it a night. Thank you guys for showing up. If you guys are looking for ways to support the channel, head to judosilencer.com. I got some t-shirts giving everybody 25% off that joins the email list. All right, and that's any video on Judo Fanatics. It'll work. So if you guys are looking to get an instructional, join that email list. I'll shoot you over a link. And until next time, thank you guys for stopping by. Matt, thank you for the super chat. I'm glad you liked the Newaza. Awesome. Thank you guys. And until next time, don't forget, I got to cancel Sunday. I know it sucks, but I got to do it. Ryan's busy. I don't have another partner. But next Wednesday, we are still going to be doing our live Uchimata, Hanigoshi, Harayagoshi, Ogoshi. We're talking big hip throws, motion setups, grips, feints, all the different ways you guys can get it to work. Make sure you guys stop by 8:30 p.m. Until next time, guys.